Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MackTen and welcome to another episode of the Mailroom. Today's episode is going to be rather brief because it's going to be. There's not too much to talk about. There is one comment, or question, or concern that was posted to me by Fantamines, or Fantamines. I think he says that I'm a little too strict on the part regarding team fights and coordination and cooperation because people can TP in. Sometimes 2 heroes will beat 4 heroes, and if you're roshing and the enemy has really good team fight initiation, sometimes 4 heroes can beat 5 heroes, or a lot of times they can, especially if they have a very good team fight ultimate, or God forbid, 2 team fight ultimates. So please forgive me for that. I was more or less just trying to give an example to really solidify how important the aspect of cooperation and the element of coordination is in the game Dota 2. And more importantly, how important communication is in facilitating cooperation, which will usually facilitate you a better result than everyone doing their own thing. And yes, it is very true that you shouldn't have all 5 heroes in the jungle, because late game your carry will clear the entire jungle by himself. However, you want those heroes on the back foot. You want them close to your base, close to a ward, getting experience through the lane, and if they have to push forward to keep pushing the lane, you don't want them alone unless you can see all the enemy heroes on the minimap, or everyone has a good feel for where all the enemy heroes are. Because if you wander out, if a pair of supports are in a lane, and they wander out alone late game, it's easy for 5 heroes to immediately swarm in, stun them, and gang them. So, now the thing I was trying to convey is, late game, if you have to be on the back foot, you don't want to be pushing those lanes forward. I can't really give you the ideal list of things you should do, because that will depend on your situation, that will depend on how fed your carry is, that will depend on how late the game is. However, I do want to point out that it's very important that you don't go way up the lanes to the tier 3 tower or anywhere near the tier 2 tower if you're alone and it's late game, if there's just 2 of you and it's late game and you don't know where the enemy heroes are. Map awareness is key to staying alive late game. The next comment I had, the Coker17 thanked me so much for the microphone video, which if you haven't seen, I will put a link to in this video's information. It's a brief video about how to configure a microphone for Dota 2, which is extremely useful, at least to some degree, because I've ran into a lot of people that have mics either set way too quiet, or they can't hear me, or something else. So it's kind of important to optimally set up your microphone. I just made this video about communication. I talked about how important having a microphone is and how much it can help your team. So it would be sort of a big deal if you bought a microphone and then you couldn't get it to work properly. And then I believe there was Hayes the Assassin says you should try Han's hotkeys. They work best They work the best QWER for spells, QWE for top rows, Alt ASD for bottom rows. I believe what he's saying is use your ASD keys for items, which actually makes sense if I use ASD for my top row of items and then ZXC for my bottom row of items. This is extremely useful, but the problem for me is I like S, I like the stop key. I really like my A click. I like my A move. I played a lot of Warcraft 3, I played way too much StarCraft, I played a lot of Dota 1. I like my A move. I like my A move. So right now I'm only using 3 item hotkeys. If I get into situations where I find myself needing a 4th item hotkey, 5th item hotkey, or God forbid all 6 item hotkeys, I'll adjust accordingly. But for now, I'm okay with just 3 item hotkeys. But anyway, that's all the feedback I have for this week. If you liked this video, if you like or find any of my videos useful, interesting, or whatever, if you have any feedback for me, feel free to leave it in the comments for this video, and I will address it in next week's episode of the Mailroom, which is usually produced on a Wednesday, but this week is late and being produced on a Friday. So thank you again for watching. I will see you next time, and bye-bye.